welcome to Movies for Dumb Guys. I'm your dumb guy host, Joe Johnson. And as always, joined by Ryan Sharp.
You will never win with violence. You only win when you maintain your dignity.
There you go. Richie Rollins. Hey, I got it right this week.
Hey, you did. The one from Comic Experience Sci-Fi. Richie Rollins.
That's right. Give me a quote.
I am not black enough to be black, and I'm not white enough to be white. Then who am I, Tony?
What are you?
That was close enough.
Yeah, paraphrasing. He didn't want to get sued.
I haven't seen the movie in a few weeks.
Tonight's theme. They just announced the Oscar nominations for the upcoming awards ceremony. And so we're going to give our thoughts on the Oscar nominations for movies that came out in 2018. In general, I don't think there's anything too controversial about the nominations. I think the changes that were enacted a couple of years ago after the Oscars So White controversy, they took steps to try to make the Academy more diverse, and I think we're seeing the effects now. It's a pretty diverse group of nominations, not only movies, but, actors, actresses, that sort of thing. Probably the one major complaint, I mean, there's some snubs we're going to get to in a little bit, but one major complaint is that there were no female directors nominated this year. That seems to ruffled a few feathers. I tried to look and see if there were any major movies directed by females, and the ones that were listed I didn't really recognize. So not sure what's going on there, but that's probably one of the few criticisms that the nominees got this year, besides some of the stubs we're going to talk about. This surprised me a little bit. The most nominations were received by Roma, which I had not even heard about until fairly recently when it started winning some other awards with 10 nominations. And The Favorite is tied with 10 nominations. And that kind of surprised me a little bit. I thought there were some other movies that would lead the pack. You okay over there, Ryan?
Yeah.
Good. I didn't know it was time for the musical interlude.
This Wi-Fi. I'm having problems with the Wi-Fi.
I thought the show ended, and I was like, damn, guys, I didn't get a chance to talk.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
There's pills for that if you're having problems with your Wi-Fi. So those two movies lead the nominations, and a little bit of a surprise. I thought there was some other more popular fare that was going to get more nominations. Let's talk about, let's get into Best Picture first. There's 8 nominees. Now, if you guys remember, a few years ago, the Academy limited it to 5 Best Picture nominees. And then there was a bit of a fiasco the year The Dark Knight came out. In my opinion, The Dark Knight, the year that it came out, should have been nominated. And in my opinion, I think it should have won. But it was left out. And so the next year, to try and include more popular movies, they came up with this rule that said if any movie received a certain number of votes, it would be eligible as a nominee for Best Picture. Hello there. And so now, ever since that, we can get 10 movies. We can get any number of movies. So this year it's 8 nominees. Let's start. I guess I have these listed here in alphabetical order. Let's start with Black Klansman. It has a worldwide gross of over $89 million on a $15 million budget. That's pretty impressive. And it has a 95% positive rating score on RT. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with the movie, I got a little audio clip I'm going to play here.
Hello, this is Ron Stallworth calling. Well, who am I speaking with?
This is David Duke.
Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. That David Duke?
God. Last time I checked. What can I do you for?
Well, since you asked, I hate blacks. I hate Jews, Mexicans and Irish, Italians and Chinese. But my mouth to God's ears, I really hate those black rats. And anyone else, really, that doesn't have pure white Aryan blood running through their veins.
I'm happy to be talking to a true white American.
God bless white America. We'll establish contact over the phone. We'll need a white officer to play me when they meet face to face.
So what kind of stuff you guys do? Cross burnings, marches. This is fixing to be a big year for us.
You ask too many questions. You undercover or something?
Now, I have not seen Black Klansman, but I got to say, after seeing the trailer, this is a must-see. I have to see this movie. It looks amazing. Directed by Spike Lee, which we're gonna get into directors in a little bit. Ryan, you saw Black Klansman, right?
I did.
What are your thoughts?
I was happy to see it nominated. It was a great movie. It was very disturbing to watch. It was, but I loved the way they put it together. I think Spike Lee did a great job. I think Denzel's son did a great job, as well as everybody else in the cast. I thought it was a great cast, a great story. It was one of those movies that after it was over, I just kind of sat there mad.
Sure.
That this is, that this was real life.
That's what the good movies do.
Yeah. So
you go home with them.
Yeah. So, people were, in the theater with me, and there was all races and colors and genders, and everybody was, there was tension, and people were screaming at the screen, and
Wow.
yeah, so it definitely, touched on a lot of hot topics, and I think it was a great story. And like I said, I just sat there afterwards, and like the person I went with was like, "You ready?" And I'm like, "Yeah, like, I guess so."
Now, it seems, judging by the trailer, it looks like there's quite a bit of humor in this.
There
too.
is.
Like they
Yeah,
try
no,
to
it's not all,
diffuse it with humor.
It's not all a downer.
Mhm.
There's a lot of really funny parts in it, and like I said, I think that the actors did a great job playing off each other. But the ending, the way it ended, kind of left you like, "Come on, man!"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna spoil it somewhat.
Oh, thank you.
In the end, they show like they show clips from today's political climate.
Yeah.
So stuff that you've seen, the marches in Carolina and stuff, like they show those clips, and that really
David
just
Duke is still making
Yeah,
headlines, which
so-
is shocking to me. But
so that
all right.
the way they ended the movie just kind of you left going like, what the hell?
yeah, that things
We're
haven't changed.
we're no further along really. Like, come on, people, like this is ridiculous. Like,
So, Rich, I take it you haven't seen it?
Nah, it's weird. It was only in our theater for a couple weeks, and by the time I got a day off to go see it, this was during my 70-day stretch of working. It was gone.
For those of you who haven't seen the movies we're talking about, and I got to be honest, I haven't seen a lot of these too, but apparently, I don't know if it's AMC, but I guess 7 of the 8 nominees are going to be back in theaters
Yes.
before the Oscars.
Yep. I'm happy because I
So-
wanted to see Black Klansman. I think Roma is the only one we're not getting.
Right. Yeah, that's what I had read. So please give me a heads up if you're going. I want to go and get caught up on some of these.
I'll go see it again.
Yeah.
That was a great movie.
I'm intrigued. I want to see it. Next up, we have probably the highest grossing movie ever to be nominated. It might be challenged by the Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, but this movie has grossed
Avatar?
1.3 billion. Oh, Avatar, I guess it was nominated for Best Picture, but I'm talking about, oh, you're right. So, yeah, it's up there. 1.3 billion worldwide.
Mhm.
Domestically, it's the 3rd highest grossing movie of all time behind The Force Awakens and Avatar. Infinity War is 4th, and Titanic has been bumped to 5th.
Stupid Titanic.
Titanic is sinking on the.
It's sinking. It hung up there for a lot of years. So
It bobbled there for a
I
while.
hit its iceberg. It stayed there for a while.
Globally, this movie sits in 9th place right now. Ninth place all time. Avatar and Titanic ranked 1 and 2 globally. Now, it has 95 or 97% on Rotten Tomatoes, and people are saying this is the first comic book movie ever to receive a Best Picture nomination. Let me play a little clip as if you don't know what I'm talking about.
You mean Logan?
I waited my entire life for this. The world's gonna start over. I'ma burn it all. What happens now determines what happens to the rest of the world.
All right, so Black Panther, first comic book movie ever to receive a Best Picture nomination. Again, like I said, I think The Dark Knight should have been nominated. Heath Ledger won Best Supporting Actor that year. And I think the Dark Knight snub, changed things so that the Academy tried to include more popular movies. Now, Black Panther came out early in 2018, and immediately people started buzzing like, oh, is this going to get a Best Picture nomination? And the buzz continued all year long, and I think the Academy almost had to give them the nomination. I think there's going to be a backlash if they didn't. Now,
those people need to go out and see other movies.
Well, a lot of people I talk to say that, in their opinion, Black Panther isn't even the best Marvel movie of the year.
No.
And so the Academy, I'm sure, felt obligated to nominate this movie. There are some great performances in it, but I really think it's one of the greatest movies ever made. No, I did not say that about this movie. Now, I think it has a 0 chance of winning Best Picture.
Zero
chance. I mean, when you compare it to the competition, Ryan, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on Black Panther getting nominated, and what are its chances of winning?
I don't know that I can say 0%. I didn't like this. I didn't love this movie. I shouldn't say I didn't like it. I didn't love this movie. I don't think it was the best. I definitely think it was, out of the movies that I've seen that are nominated for Best Picture, it's last for me. And I did watch, as we just talked about, I watched the intro to Roma, and it's better than that. So I like it better than that. But
so you're saying it got a chance?
It's got a chance. But it was a good movie. But like everybody said, it's not even the best Marvel movie out. Everybody latched onto this. There's a lot of very positive things about this movie, and I like the character, but I don't think it's best movie.
Richie,
I wouldn't have nominated it.
No. I too would have not nominated. Nominated. I'll tell you, back in February I would have, because that was only like the 4th movie I saw all year. But as I kept watching movies, the competition this year, man, this is I think it was a great year for good movies. And Black Panther, yeah, how to get nominated over Beale Street, I don't know.
Pressure. I think it was pressure.
Are we trying to give all the comic book geeks, hey, here's your movie? Because, they cry a lot about movies.
I'm glad you brought that up, because one thing I am glad about Black Panther getting nominated is it kind of reinforces what we talk about on this podcast week after week, is that comic book movies and movies like it are damn good. There are damn good comic book movies out there.
It's a good movie, but it's not an Oscar movie. If you would have said Logan, I would be like, well, hell yeah.
That's my point. A movie like Logan automatically in the past has gotten snubbed because it was a comic book movie.
Right.
And then you see it and you go, this is good. This is really good.
Right.
So I'm hoping that Black Panther starts a path to the Academy recognizing that popular movies are good.
If they're
can
good.
be good.
If they're good.
Right.
Like Logan, but
that's what I'm saying.
99% of the comic book movies out there aren't good enough to be an Oscar movie.
Yeah. But I'm hoping Black Panther starts or opens that door is what I'm saying.
If it was a good movie, I would be like, sure, I'd go with that, but there's other movies more that should have been put there way before Black Panther, and I just think it's leading down the wrong path.
All right. Now, continuing with alphabetical order, I don't have a sound clip for this. We've talked about this movie a lot. Bohemian Rhapsody, 62% on RT, probably the lowest, actually not probably, the lowest rated movie on Rotten Tomatoes that got an Oscar nomination. But it is popular with the audiences. It has crossed the 800 million worldwide mark on a budget of $52 million. That's crazy. That's putting it in line for one of the most profitable movies of all time. Now, there are some criticisms of this movie, and the criticism is inaccuracy, that the movie takes a lot of creative liberties. Here's just a few. It overly simplifies the creation of Queen where in the movie it depicts him walking out in the parking lot, meeting some of the band members of the band Smile. The lead singer had just quit, and Freddie Mercury sings a little bit and says, "I want to be your new singer." And they go, "Yeah, that sounds great." That's not how it happened. Freddie Mercury had known members of the band, had tried to champion his cause with them, and they kept rejecting him. And then finally, when the lead singer quit, they said, "All right, we'll take a chance with you." So the movie simplifies that. And I guess when you're trying to tell the story, you need to simplify some things. But there are some other issues. Let's see. Mike Myers. He's in the movie. He plays a fictional character, even though his character is loosely based on real record executives. Is it necessary to create a fictional character when you're telling the story of Queen? Later in the movie, just prior to Freddie finding out about Live Aid, him and Queen reunite when in reality they had never broken up. They had been performing and recording up to weeks before Live Aid. So that one is like a head scratcher. Like, why would you say in the movie that they had been broken up for a year or two when in reality they had never really broken up? They tried other projects and tried different things on their own, but they never really broke up
like
as a band.
Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
Can I just interject with the Mike Myers thing?
Yeah.
I think they had to do something to acknowledge what he did to the pop culture of the song with Wayne's World.
Yeah.
Because there's little 2-year-olds that they hear that song and they headbang at that part. So they had to do something, I think, to acknowledge.
I thought it was fun, and I mentioned
it
it
was definitely fun
on our Dummy Awards. I mentioned that was one of my favorite cameos of the year.
Right, but so it may not have been an actual thing, and may not have been a real person or whatever. But I think you needed to add it to because it had a place.
Yeah. I think it might have been fun to do that as like a post-credit scene or something. I don't know.
I mean, I would be okay with it.
The final thing is that in the movie, Freddie reveals to his bandmates just prior to Live Aid that he has AIDS, and they kind of rally around him. In reality, he was diagnosed with AIDS 2 years after Live Aid. So again, okay, so you're trying to add some drama there in the movie, but this is a historical movie. I don't know why that's necessary, but but that's what's causing a lot of this backlash with Bohemian Rhapsody. Is they're like, why take these liberties?
I tell you what. Even if this was a made-up story, all right, it was a fun movie, loved it. Let's say it was a made-up story. I still would not. This is the only movie of all the best pictures I've seen I would not nominate.
Really?
Other than Black Panther.
I was surprised by the backlash. When I saw Bohemian Rhapsody, I loved it. I thought it was fun. I thought Rami Malek was incredible as Freddie Mercury. I thought it was Oscar-worthy when I saw it.
Did I just hear you right? You said you would not have Oscar-nominated this movie.
Correct.
Do you agree, Ryan?
No, I don't. I don't know that it'll win.
With your disagreement.
I don't know that it'll win, but I mean, when you look at the movies that were out this year, I think it definitely stands up, with these ones that are
not at all, not even close stand up with these.
Well, I'm going to say this. Based on how it's been performing in the other award ceremonies, as a matter of fact, for the Golden Globes, it won Best Drama, and I think it won some other awards. And I'm saying that this is a front runner. I'm thinking Bohemian Rhapsody is in consideration for the award. I think it has a good shot, which is ironic considering that it has the lowest RT score. But I think it's a front runner. Ryan?
The Golden Globes changed my opinion. I still personally have a different movie that I want to win, and I think it's going to win, that I enjoyed more. But I think this one might be a
contender,
super sneaky.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see them up on the stage.
I guess if everybody was stoned and drunk and who vote for this, then it might
That's
have
the Golden Globes. Golden Globes, they're all drunk over there.
Legal here.
But no, I don't think so. Not at all. There's other good movies out there. Mary, Queen of Scots got snubbed, obviously. It should be there instead of those two movies.
Well, let's talk about a movie that you've praised, Rich, and we're going to talk about one of your predictions in a little bit that was spot on. The Favorite, 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, this is another one. This is interesting. It's based on historical characters, Queen Anne and her handmaidens, or whatever you want to call them, Abigail and Sarah. But I read that most of the movie is fiction, that most of the movie never happened. And that kind of stunned me when I read that. Now, should that affect the enjoyment of the movie? I haven't seen it. I know you saw it. You liked it. The trailer looks phenomenal. Looks great. Performances look great. But again, I'm just puzzled by having to create fiction using historical characters. But this is one I definitely want to see when they re-release prior to the Oscars. Ryan, any interest in The Favorite?
Yeah, because it's nominated.
Mm-hmm.
And because
have you seen the trailer? What's your thoughts on the trailer?
I saw the trailer. If it wasn't nominated, it probably wouldn't be on my list. If Rich didn't tell me you see his wife topless, it would not be on my list.
She insisted on that? I had read that she's the one who insisted on that scene. She wanted it to be more shocking that way.
It did. I don't want to ruin the movie for you, but in that it just added to the power shift.
Exactly. Wait, what was that? Well, give me that one more time.
Heck?
There's a ridiculous delay going on with my computer. So
Okay.
What's that from?
That's McLovin. Come on, people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ryan, Rich, since you're the only one among us who's seen The Favorite, give me your review of The Favorite in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, the ending has you going, what the hell? And then you figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But the oh my gosh, the ladies in this movie were amazing, and I don't know which one.
Hey, ladies!
And I'm biased when it comes to Emma Stone, but I don't know who I want to give the Oscar to from those three. You know, and I don't know how they're going to decide which one is actress and which one was supporting actress.
Yeah. We're going to get to the best actress in a moment. So,
but there's one thing that I will say about it that makes it not my favorite for winning was the men in the movie. Kind of, some of them I felt like were phoning it in. Like,
really?
Yeah, I felt like some of the performances of the men's side were a little bit weak. Didn't really add to, like, it seemed like it was supposed to add something to it, but because of their performance, it seemed like it just brought it down a little bit. But those ladies, I'm telling you, those ladies carried that movie. Like,
that's the consensus. And again, with 10 nominations, a lot of people might be saying that it has a lot of momentum.
I believe that movie should be nominated for all those.
Yeah.
But right now, it's got a good chance of winning.
Yeah, I agree. Green Book, 82% on Rotten Tomatoes. Worldwide gross so far of $46 million on a $23 million budget. So it's doubled its money. Co-written by Tony Lipps. Tony Lip is a character in the movie, written by his son, Nick Vallelonga. Now, the script is based on recorded interviews with Dr. Don Shirley, the concert pianist, and Tony Lip. So the story comes from the two protagonists who lived this experience. So it's written by Tony Lip's son, but the Green Book has now become victim of another backlash that the family of Dr. Shirley is saying that they should have been consulted, that they feel that the story shouldn't have been told from the white man's perspective, that it should have come from the perspective of Don Shirley. And I was a little surprised when I learned of the backlash, because when I saw the movie, I thought this is an important movie. I thought there was a great message there. And I being a white guy, I guess, I don't know if my opinion matters in this case, but I didn't think that who directed it or who wrote it should have affected the perception of this movie. It's a damn good movie with a damn good message. And my concern is that this backlash is going to hurt its chances. Ryan, your thoughts on Green Book?
I love this movie. I thought it lived up. I had pretty good expectations for it when I went to see it, and I thought it lived up to it, and maybe even surpassed it. I don't know. Not surprised that it's nominated at all. I think if you haven't seen it, you need to, and I think that there was some great acting in this movie. They put on a show.
It was a clinic.
It definitely was, and I hope it does really well.
I had Kentucky Fried Chicken today because thinking about the movie made me crave Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Racist.
What a great!
There's a sound drop.
That was the
Upcoming
point.
sound drop.
That was the point of that particular scene.
Absolutely.
But it was basically a
Great scene
great
that
KFC commercial. I told the manager, I was like, "Have you seen Green Book?" He's like, "No, what is that?" And I said, "It's like a great Kentucky Fried Chicken commercial."
Oh boy.
Rich, your thoughts on Green Book?
You know what? This movie, I believe any other year is going to win the Oscar, and later on I'll tell you why. It's not going to win this year, but man, that movie is great, and I thought it. And I'm sick of people trying to tell people who should tell the story. If you got a story to tell, you tell it. It doesn't matter your race, religion. You got a perspective on it. You tell that perspective, and it's called art.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie had I'm not kidding, a strong message, and the line I tried to quote earlier, just is so true. We look at things through like labels and color instead of like we're just human.
Right.
Like Don Shirley when he's going through that whole thing, and he's like, I'm not white enough to be white. I'm not black enough to be black, and I'm definitely not white, right?
Yeah.
So what am I? Well, you're a human being, and
Right.
that's how we all should be treating each other.
And I feel like that was the moral of the story. That was the point of the movie.
It
and
was.
that's why I was shocked by the criticism and backlash.
And then here it comes back together, and here you got a guy, Vigo, who's playing this character who's prejudiced. He's got all these prejudice beliefs, but a lot of them, you watch them fall because they spend time and they grow. And at the end,
learn from each other.
Humans came together for this holiday.
And that was the whole
comes
point.
to the door. It's not, oh, this black guy's at the door, this white family's there. No, it's
human being.
This human being, part of the family.
And that was the whole point of Dr. Shirley's Southern tour, that he wanted to expose the people in the South that were racist, that a black man was a human being with these amazing talents. So I don't know. I thought it was a great movie. I hope it's not hurt by the backlash.
I'll tell you another thing. If you have Spotify, go on there and listen to some Don Shirley because he was awesome.
That was a line that I really liked, is when Tony Lip said, "Only you can do that. Only you can play that."
And
music.
is the family doing that for recognition, money?
Possibly.
I mean, there's other motives out there.
Yeah.
You got to question it.
Yeah. Definitely, I think Green Book is a front runner right now. Roma, the other movie with 10 nominations leading the pack, is a Netflix original movie. And this stirs up some feelings in me because, I don't know, I guess I'm a purist or something. So Netflix produces this movie. They give it a very limited theatrical release where people in Southeast Michigan have nowhere to see this thing, as far as I know.
Shocking, because you might make more money if you
and I don't. So the only reason they even do a theatrical release is to make it eligible for the Oscars. Now, anyone with Netflix can sit down and watch it. I don't have Netflix right now, but so I pretty much have right now zero chance of seeing this movie unless I steal your password, Ryan. But based on
I don't do that.
Tell the Netflix people.
Netflix, Mr. Hastings, Reed, buddy, I don't do that.
Now, I did go and watch the trailer, and I judge movie by the trailer. And I watched the trailer, and I just didn't get this. I'm like, what is going on here? They don't play any dialogue, even though I know it's a foreign language film. It's a Spanish film. But I just don't get it. I don't understand it. And I'm puzzled by this nomination. I'm puzzled by this whole thing. Ryan, you said you tried watching it on Netflix. Please share your experience with us.
So I was like, okay, it's nominated. I want to see what all the hype is. So I attempted to watch it. I got 5 minutes in, and I was like, I got to shut this off. And not to say that I won't go back and watch it eventually before the Oscars. And, it might be a great movie. But that first 5 minutes was just, it was painstaking. All it was intro credits, and we talked about this. Maybe that was intentional, like that movies used to have
rollback,
all the credits and the intro. Maybe that's the case, but it was the most boring 5 minutes that I've ever seen in a film. It was paint drying is more entertaining. It was just
if you're in line to get popcorn and you're going to see Roma, don't hurry. Take your time getting to your seat.
You're not going to be in a movie theater.
Right.
So,
but I do
start
disagree.
on Netflix, go to the grocery store.
Right, exactly.
Pop some popcorn in the microwave.
Stop by the liquor store on the way home.
Go make some pizza rolls. I do disagree with you about the whole Netflix thing, though. I think Netflix is a powerhouse movie maker now, and I don't know why they have to have a theatrical release to be considered the best movie of a year.
Like I said, maybe I'm a purist, but let me say this: why not give it a theatrical run before moving it into Netflix? Like, why not play it in theaters so I can go
You'll make
have
more.
that movie?
You'll make more money than your
And
subscription.
I like the movie going experience. I like seeing my movies in the theater.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
why
I don't have
not?
a problem with them being in the theater, but
Right.
I just think that whatever they choose to do, whether it's show it on Netflix or show it on the big screen, I think a great movie is a great movie, whether it's sold at the flea market, on Netflix, on Hulu, pirated at Joe's house, whatever.
Hey,
um,
to the pirates out there listening, don't do that.
Oh
yeah.
man.
Richie, your thoughts on Roma?
I wanted to see it. There's a lot of underground hype about it, but I'm not gonna see it. I don't have Netflix. I have no interest in having Netflix. Just because you make a movie that's
Ooh,
going to
that's
be
now.
nominated at Oscar doesn't make me want to go out and buy Netflix, because that means I also have to get internet, and it's like
Right.
I'm not going to pay $57 a month just to have Netflix just for
And
like
that's
one or two movies.
Exactly why I think it should be
And
released in
it
theaters.
makes no sense to me business wise. If you got this movie's getting this buzz, why?
yeah, but
did
you're
you
like
just
the
throw it in
2% that doesn't have Wi-Fi at their house
Okay.
or internet.
Okay.
Well, let me
so
say this.
you don't need it in this world.
I will guarantee this is probably the lock of the week here. Roma's going to win Best Foreign Language Film. And that's usually the case with the Oscars. If a movie is nominated for both Best Picture and Foreign Language Film, they always give it the Foreign Language Film to open up Best Picture category for someone else. So,
That's interesting.
lock of the week, Joe Johnson's lock of the
That's
week.
your lock of the week.
Roma is going to
Well-
win Best Foreign Language Film.
I'll have to go out and watch the other ones, and I'll let you know.
Nah, don't bother.
I got to polish up on my Polish.
Go to
stuff.
Vegas, put your money on Roma for Best Foreign Language Film. No brainer. All right, let's move on to A Star is Born. 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Worldwide gross of over $400 million on a $36 million budget. Another extremely profitable movie. This is the fourth version of the film. There's a 1937 version starring Frederick March and Janet Gaynor. 1954 version starring James Mason and Judy Garland. And then there was the Barbara Streisand, Chris Christopherson. So this is the fourth iteration. Fifth, if you count The Artist, which I feel is just another variation on A Star is Born, which won Best Picture a number of years ago. When I saw Bohemian Rhapsody, I thought, oh, this has a really good shot at winning Best Picture. Then I saw A Star is Born, and I'm like, oh, man, this is a better movie, even though I like Bohemian Rhapsody better, but this is a better movie, if that makes any sense.
It doesn't. You've been saying it for weeks, and I struggle every time you
just-
say it.
To
It
me,
just-
a favorite movie is different than a best movie. Like I might love Caddyshack. Like I love Caddyshack, but
I
that's
zoned
not
out for a second.
Oscar.
What do you say?
Huh?
You saying Star is Born is the better movie?
Yes.
but he
Oh.
likes Bohemian Rhapsody better.
More. Like I think Bohemian
Well,
Rhapsody is more fun.
Maybe he has like he's able to see like the artist side of it. Maybe he enjoyed the funness of the one,
Right.
and the other one is a different tone.
See, there are some movies that I could watch over and over and over again, and then there are great movies.
And
like
he grew up listening to Queen, so he's gonna be excited about
It's always been on
the,
radio.
the music's awesome.
Even though I thought the music in Star is Born was
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
But there are movies I can watch over and over and over again. But there are great movies that I watch once, and I don't necessarily want to watch again. And I'm going to bring up Shawshank Redemption. I think it's a great movie, but it's hard to watch over and over and over again. Bohemian Rhapsody is a movie I can watch over and over and over again. Star is Born, I saw it in the theater. I thought it was great. I don't really have a desire to sit there and watch those two characters go through all that torment again.
Did
I
you,
can't do that to myself.
Did you go back to the theaters and watch Bohemian Rhapsody when it was the sing along?
No,
The lyrics?
that would have been cool. So Ryan, your thoughts on A Star is Born? What kind of chances do you think it
I think it has a really, really, really good chance, and it's actually the one that I personally want to win. I think it's my Oscar favorite. Not, when we do our Oscar pool, is it the one I'm going to pick? That I don't know. Probably not. But I think it's got a really good shot, and I really hope it wins because I thought it was a great movie, and it really took you on a lot of different rides. And I enjoyed every step of the way. There's ups and downs and chilling moments and upsetting moments and some of the best acting out there, and I'm glad to see those people are being recognized as well. So
One of the things that impressed me most about this movie is the soundtrack and the songs, and those are up for Oscars too. But the thing that impressed me about this movie is a lot of times when you hear a song for the very first time, it takes repeated listening for you to finally say, oh, this is a good song. I like this. But I could say that about the songs in A Star is Born the first time I watched the movie. When I'm sitting there in the theater, I'm like, these songs are amazing. It felt like they had been around forever. Like they felt like classic songs. But as far as I know, these were all created for the film.
And like I've said in previous
great.
podcasts, when Lady Gaga was on stage singing "Shallow," when she
Forced
took it up
into the spotlight. Yeah.
and when she started low and everything, and then when they it just, I don't know, man, it just brought the house down. It was just it was made history. Like it was movie
moment.
magic. It was wow.
Yeah.
So
Richie, your thoughts on A Star is Born?
This is why Green Book will not win. Because A Star is Born is an excellent movie. I think it has the best chance of winning. Of all the movies that are nominated that I have seen, I have not seen Black Klansman, and I have not seen Roma. But I'll tell you, Star is Born is probably the strongest to win.
Mm-hmm.
And shortly after that, I don't know if you give it to The Favorite or Green Book.
Okay.
Out of all those movies
well,
nominated,
who's the favorite?
those are the only three. Right now, I say The Star is Born is running as the favorite. Wait, that.
It's like calling a horse race. And here comes Favorite down the back stretch. All right, no, this is tough. Now, Vice. Let's talk about Vice. 64% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well deserved. 64%.
Yeah. Now, I have issues. Now, let me start off by saying, again, I haven't seen the movie. I have seen the trailer. And when I saw Christian Bale as Dick Cheney, my jaw hung open. I was like,
oh my gosh.
What a physical transformation. There's that scene where his shirt is off and his gut is hanging out. And I was like, holy crud. So
when I first heard he was in the movie, I was like, was he George W? Like, who was he?
So
Sam Rockwell.
Now, the only issue I have, and again, it's hard for me to talk about this because I haven't seen it, but this is regarded as a comedy, I guess, a dark comedy.
Not even.
And to make light of what that man did to this country just kind of rubs me the wrong way. So I think Vice is down at the bottom.
Whoever thinks this is a comedy, bring them in. I'll slap them because they're stupid.
Yeah.
There's no way this is a comedy.
Yeah.
It looked like they tried to make it.
They sure promote it that way.
They try to make it look like a comedy and dark humor. There was nothing funny about it. Except for the love scene between him and his wife when they started doing Shakespeare, which made no sense and lasted too long.
Yeah.
Well-deserved 65%.
Ryan, any thoughts on Vice?
I didn't see it. I will because it's nominated. I was going to see it anyways, just hadn't had time.
Yeah.
But, based off of Rich's hatred of the movie, it definitely kind of dampened my enthusiasm a bit.
Yeah,
so.
same way.
If you're looking to
which
watch,
I don't know why, because I don't ever listen to anything Rich says. So
if you're looking to see some fantastic acting and a character, Christian Bale carried the movie.
Yeah,
if Christian Bale's not in this movie, it's not. It shouldn't be nominated for Best Picture anyways, but it's not even talked about.
Now let's. We mentioned the Golden Globes. Bohemian Rhapsody won Best Drama. Green Book won Best Comedy, which is an outrage.
Oh, that movie was so funny.
Yeah. Now let's talk snubs. I have not seen If Beale Street Could Talk, but that was snubbed. And another snub that's causing some outrage is Crazy Rich Asians. Now I haven't seen Crazy Rich Asians, but it was been a phenom this year. Like people were just raving about it. Any thoughts on why these movies were snubbed? Do you think it's deservingly so?
Crazy Rich Asians. Didn't we see one of the stars
no
from it at a comedy club?
Oh yeah.
He wasn't that funny.
Can't get no love on me.
There we go. What's his name? I forget.
I don't know. I just remember that he asked me what I did for a living, and I told him he had nothing. He said, "I got nothing," and I wanted to sit there and say, "You've had nothing all night."
Now I want to check it out. I want to see it eventually, but
I do too.
Do you consider it a snub, or do you think
I do
it's
not.
justified? Yeah.
I went and saw this because of all the
you did
hype.
see it.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, I saw
Okay.
it.
Good. Chime in.
Was it a snub at the Golden Globes because it was nominated for best comedic movie? Of all the movies that are nominated for best comedic, it might have been
wasn't-
the only comedic movie.
It wasn't funny.
Wow.
Wow.
It wasn't funny at all. There was
Was the guy
there
stand
was
up better in the movie?
yes.
Wow.
I thought
that's pretty sad.
I thought the movie was it was okay. You know, it was a decent date movie, I guess, but there was some funny parts in it, but it wasn't the main focus, and it wasn't the main actors. It was like her friend that she kind of sometimes saw, and her friend's family, which is oh my god, I'm drawing a blank.
Michelle Yeoh.
No, who's the Chang from Hangover? He's from Detroit. I don't Ken, Dr. Ken.
Oh yeah. I know you. Yeah.
Forgive me for forgetting his name. Like, he's the dad, and like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, their family was kind of funny, and the way that they interacted was kind of funny. Wasn't like, oh my gosh. It was kind of like when Nutty Professor, when you see the clumps.
Mm-hmm.
It was that.
Too much of a.
It was
thing.
that.
Yeah,
And
Right.
but overall, I was like, this movie sucks. Like, I don't understand what everybody was so like raving about, and I don't know why it you know, again, maybe it was the fact of what it represented in terms of diversity and being able to produce a movie that gets recognition when it's, you know, an equal opportunity. That might be it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But as far as the movie itself, I was underwhelmed.
Rich, let me ask you this: a movie that got nominated for costumes, production design, score, and song was left out of the big Best Picture nominations. Mary Poppins Returns.
You know, if you're gonna put Bohemian Rhapsody, Black Panther, and Vice, you might as well put that movie in there.
Now, I just wasn't blown away by it. I liked it. I thought it looked nice. But I left the theater wanting more. So even though people are saying, oh, Mary Poppins got snubbed, I don't think it was worthy.
I wouldn't call it a snub really, because like I said, it's better than those three movies, Vice, Bohemian Rhapsody, and Black Panther. But what was the other movie you were talking about before? You had
Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy Rich Asians. That was a snub.
Beale Street. Yeah.
Beale Street I want to see, because that might actually be a snub, because there's a lot of talk, a lot of awards it got before, and it just came to our theater, because it hasn't been in our theater at all, and it just came, and I wanted to see it before I came to talk tonight, because I feel like something tells me it got snubbed hardcore.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Now, we're going to kind of gloss over Best Director here.
I got one more snub.
Oh, what's your snub?
Mary, Queen of Scots.
I don't know anything about that. I haven't heard anything about that.
Another good.
No,
I think every year, I think you just go and like, what obscure movie can I find to like?
Mary Stewart did an excellent acting job.
All right. Well,
I'm sorry, Saoirse Ronan and Margaret Robbie, and it was a good movie all around.
it got 0 noms, even for like production design and stuff. It got.
I know.
Nothing.
I was shocked.
Okay.
I think it got snubbed hardcore.
Let's talk about directors. Alfonso Cuarón for Roma. He was the director of Gravity and won for Gravity. He was the first Hispanic/Mexican director
Genius.
ever to win. But Gravity lost Best Picture to 12 Years a Slave, despite the fact that Gravity won 7 Oscars in 2014. Yorgos Lanthimos directed The Favorite. That's his first nomination.
He's probably going to win.
Spike Lee, Black Klansman. This is so shocking
I've got
to
to
me.
see this movie.
I was shocked when I learned this. First directing nomination ever.
I did.
Shocking.
Okay. So
Shocking.
he might win it because of that.
He's due.
Because they do that when
He
you
might win it because of the amazing film he put on.
It could
screen.
be.
Well, that too.
It could be, but a lot of
But,
times,
Oscars can be
a lot
political.
of times when
Yeah.
they're getting old and stuff, they're like they'll throw them an Oscar.
Yeah.
Like
But I'm saying this isn't
Paul
the
Newman should have won the Oscar.
This
6 or
isn't the
7
Reverend, is what
times.
I'm saying. This isn't Leo's.
Yeah.
You know, you're overdue. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
this
Great movie.
stands on its own regardless.
Now, he was nominated for Best Original Screenplay in 1990 for Do the Right Thing, but was not nominated as director for that movie, which is shocking to me.
Shocking.
He was nominated for Best Documentary for 4 Little Girls in 1998 and won an honorary award in 2016. Before we pick our favorites, let's finish off the list. Adam McKay, directed for or nominated for Vice. It's so amazing that this is the same guy who co-wrote Anchorman, Talladega Nights, and The Other
I
Guys.
have no idea why he's there.
Saturday Night Live alum.
He won
No
adapted.
idea why he's
he
there.
won. He won Best Adapted Screenplay for The Big Short and was nominated for Best Director for Big Short. So this is his second nomination. And then Pavel Pawlikowski, The Cold War. I think it's another foreign language film. First nomination, produced by Amazon Films. So of these names, I'm going to say Spike Lee is the front runner, and I would be shocked if he didn't win. Ryan, do you concur?
I think it's Bradley. Wait.
Oh, well,
Bradley
we haven't
Cooper's
gotten into
not
the
there.
snubs yet. Snubbed. Bradley Cooper for A Star is Born. Peter Farrelly for The Green Book did not get nominated.
Jeez. Wow,
Ryan
how?
Coogler did not get nominated for Black Panther. And no women, not a single woman, was nominated in the directing category.
Before this was announced, I was going to say Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
It's Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
Now,
No.
I'm going to say it's going to be either Spike Lee or Yorgo.
I don't know that it was a snub. It was,
Has he earned it? Has he earned that director
He did.
title
yeah,
yet?
like
He
what was so
did.
great about this? It was a great film, but what did he do?
He directed himself. That's
Yeah.
hard to do. No, actually, the director has a
Yeah.
lot to do with how
No,
the
no,
film
no, no,
comes
no,
out.
no. I'm not saying that the director doesn't have anything to do. I'm saying, but
Something
with this
unique, something
particular
special, yeah.
film,
Yeah.
it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
I got to give it to Spike Lee. Like, even if Bradley Cooper was nominated,
I-
which I love that
I
movie.
agree.
I might agree with you
and
if I see Black
Yeah,
Klansman,
and
because
I'm
I know
going
Spike Lee is
I'm going
great.
Spike Lee without any of the political or anything else. I'm just going
Yeah.
off of what he put on screen, and I think it deserves it.
I agree. Let's get into the acting categories. We're going to start with Best Actress. I hope I don't mangle some of these names. Yalitza Aparicio from Roma, her first nomination. Now, this is
luck.
here's another shocking thing. Glenn Close nominated for The Wife. This is her 7th nomination, not a single win.
Oh,
Not
here could be your
win. This could be
you're-
another
you're
case
old,
of
we owe you one.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Olivia Colman, who
Did you just put your hand between my legs?
those aren't pillows.
What the heck, man?
Olivia Colman in The Favorite. This is
it
her
cold
first
in here?
nomination. Lady Gaga in A Star is
I need
Born, first acting
Tim sitting
nom.
between us.
Melissa McCarthy, Can You Ever Forgive Me, nominated for.
What?
This is
No.
crazy as
I
I was.
cannot.
Think about this. This like blew my mind. I'm like, am I reading this right? This is her second nomination. The previous one was for supporting actress in Bridesmaids.
I didn't see Bridesmaids.
The scene where she had diarrhea in the sink, that must have clinched her nomination. But that
Clinch.
Wow.
that what? Or is that plugged in? Or do you have it?
It is. It's
So this is
We'll
her
work on
second
it.
nomination.
a work in progress. yeah.
Now again, I haven't seen it. The trailers look pretty damn good, even though it's a very unusual story. As a matter of fact, let me play a little clip from the trailer from Can You Ever Forgive Me?
I'm months behind in my rent, and my cat is sick. My suggestion to you is you go out there and you find another way to make a living. Quite by accident, I find myself in a rather criminal position.
What criminal activity could possibly involve it, except a crime of fashion, of course?
I'm embellishing literary letters by prominent writers.
Ms. Israel, let me have a couple of questions regarding the last letter I purchased.
We're probably looking at some time behind bars.
What?
So this is another based on a true story film about a woman who, to make ends meet, forges letters from prominent authors. It's a very interesting concept for a movie. Those of you who complain that it's all sequels and reboots and remakes, this
That
is
was you.
pretty. I don't complain. It's just
Is this like a comedy though?
I don't think it is even though she's a comedic actress.
Because it'd
this-
be nice
I mean,
to
it
see a
seems
comedic
like-
person get nominated in a comedic movie.
Yeah. No, she. This is her stretching her dramatic legs here.
Really?
And,
Because the previews really didn't look like it.
Really?
It looked like a comedy.
No, it's well. I mean, it's.
I mean,
I
it
guess
looks
you'd
like
call it
another-
a dark comedy. A
Another
dark comedy.
funny haha ho ho.
So, like I said, they could lean Glenn Close and say that she's due.
That's a possibility. I'm
Olivia
gonna
Colman was great. I mean, these
she's
guys,
gonna-
they're
right
so
now-
competitive, man.
right now it's going to be either Glenn Close if they don't throw it to her, Olivia Colman, and then Lady Gaga.
Really?
And
You don't see Melissa McCarthy in the running.
I,
Ryan,
because
who's the front runner, Ryan?
I didn't see the movie.
Lady Gaga.
Front runner, huh?
Wow.
I'm all in this movie.
She played herself in that movie, basically.
And she did a damn good job.
I think she did, even though there were a couple of moments. I remember sitting there in the theater watching this going, maybe should have did a second take on that one. There were a couple of moments where I thought she was a little weak.
Great. And
but
when
her musical numbers
well,
put her
that
over the
aside, like like the way that she dealt with him, the way she cried, the bathtub scene.
She had some really good moments.
you
I'm
know,
I'm just saying that the other ones I felt were just a bit better.
I felt I kind of flashed back as I was watching this movie in the theater. I was flashing back to Dreamgirls. When I saw Dreamgirls on Christmas Day, much to your chagrin, I remember watching
Stay home,
Dreamgirls. I remember watching Dreamgirls, and Jennifer Hudson broke into that song, "I'm Telling You for the Last Time" or whatever. And I remember watching that movie or watching that moment and going, Oscar, like I felt she clinched the Oscar in that performance. And I felt the same thing, not necessarily for Shallow, even though that gave me goosebumps, but that final number, the I'll Never Love Again. I remember watching it. I had goosebumps. My eyes were welling up. And I'm thinking this may have clinched her the Oscar. So she's up there. She has some competition.
You know, the one thing I will give her is that Olivia Colman had a lot more to work with from the script than she had.
So, Lady Gaga, front runner, winner.
That's what Ryan says.
All
I'm
right.
still going with Olivia Colman.
Mark
right
it
now.
down.
Here's what I'm going to say. For me, it's a toss-up between Lady Gaga and Glenn Close. I think Glenn Close, I haven't seen The Wife, but again, it could be another case of it's her time. But Lady Gaga has so much buzz on this movie. I am going to go on record and say Lady Gaga is going to win it.
Okay.
All right. Snubbed, Emily Blunt. Do you think Emily Blunt deserved a nomination for Mary Poppins?
Definitely. It's hard. I mean, I haven't seen Melissa McCarthy's movie, but just judging from the previews and knowing Melissa McCarthy, Emily Blunt nailed it.
Yeah, what I liked about, like I said, I didn't love the movie, but I did love her performance. And what I liked about Emily Blunt's performance is that she didn't try to mimic Julie Andrews. She based her character on the writings, the novels.
I seriously
of
like
P.L. Travers.
her version way better, and it's why I would say she should have got nominated.
I agree. I think she got snubbed. Now I don't know if she would have won. I still will stand by my prediction, but I do feel like Emily Blunt. Let's move on to Best Actor. The nominees are Christian Bale for Vice. This is his fourth nomination.
Probably a lock.
He won Supporting Actor in 2011 for The Fighter. Bradley Cooper, nominated for Stars Born, he was nominated for Silver Linings Playbook, American Hustle, and American Sniper.
Could be
this
his
is
time.
fourth nominee. William Dafoe at Eternity's Gate. I have
He's
no idea what this is. I've never heard of this movie.
Great
I don't
actor,
know.
so I believe he's got a shot.
When I saw his name, I thought he got nominated for Aquaman, but no, Eternity's Gate. Never heard of it. Rami Malek, he was my front runner early on for Bohemian Rhapsody.
My front.
I thought he embodied Freddie Mercury and was an amazing transformation. And then Viggo Mortensen, Green Book, his third nomination for lead actor. Shockingly, he was not nominated for Lord of the Rings, the movie that set the record for nominations at the time, The Return of the Kings. He was not nominated in an acting category back then. So of those, Bale, Cooper, Dafoe, Malek, and Mortensen, boy, oh boy, based on Christian Bale's transformation, I think he's got a great chance. I was really impressed with Bradley Cooper's performance. I'm going to go with Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody. Ryan,
wow,
who is your front runner?
I'm going with Rami Malek as well.
Look at you.
Look at me. I think he did a great job. I want Viggo to win because I think he did a phenomenal job too, and I really like that character. And I didn't walk out of Bohemian Rhapsody trying to be like Freddie Mercury, but I did walk out of Green Book talking like I was from New York. So that's who I want to win.
So you want
Vigo. But I
what
think
you're
Rami's going to
predicting.
get it.
All right. Richie?
Well, I tell you, when I watched Bohemian Rhapsody, I was like, ooh, Rami's got a good shot. Then I watched Star is Born, and I was like, Rami's not even in the same category. Bradley Cooper is off the hook. It's all Bradley Cooper. And then I watched Green Book, and then I was like, Vigo, he could give Bradley some competition. And then I watched Vice, and now I'm like, is Bradley Cooper gonna steal it from Christian Bale?
Yeah.
And I'm assuming when I watch Eternity's Gate, I'm gonna be like, oh, it's all William Dafoe. But right now, of the movies I saw, I'm gonna say that Christian Bale's definitely the front runner, and if he doesn't get it, it's gonna be Bradley Cooper.
I think this Best Actor category this year
It's
one of the most competitive ever.
Yeah.
Like any one of these five.
You know, I look at the actresses this year, and I'm like, definitely not Melissa McCarthy. But in everybody else, I'm like, yeah.
How
I can
dare
see
you?
it.
She's a nice lady.
I look over at the Best Actor, and there's like nobody that's definitely not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You know, Best Picture, I could tell you, there's definitely not supposed to be
So
there.
are you predicting Bale with the possible upset of Jamie Kennedy? I mean,
well, that's a huge upset.
I'm channeling
Jamie Kennedy
Tim
there.
here.
As of right now, in this moment, when we do our squares, I might change my mind. But right now, in this moment, I am saying it is tight between Bale and Cooper. But right now, I'm going to give the edge to Christian Bale.
All right.
Because I felt like I wanted to call up the studio and say, damn you for lying to us. That wasn't Christian Bale. That was really Dick Cheney.
Yeah, it was amazing. That crooked mouth and everything.
He had all the mannerisms.
Yeah.
If you ever watched when you watch him on those news channels, he had all the mannerisms, all the heavy breathing. I swear to God, I was watching Dick Cheney.
All right, let's go on to Best Supporting Actress. Amy Adams nominated for Vice. This is another one. She's on her 6th nomination, not a single win. Marina Di Tavira for Roma. Regina King from If Beale Street Can Talk, 1st nomination. Got her start on the 227. You guys remember 227?
Yeah.
Love me some 227.
2 actresses from the
Jackie.
same movie are competing, which is so interesting considering that was their role in the movie. Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz. Is that how you pronounce her name? Rachel Weisz?
You know, you can actually put those 2 in the Best Actress and then throw the other one in the Best Supporting Actress,
Yeah.
too. That's just, I didn't know who was.
Yeah,
what
so they're
category-
going against each other. This is Emma's 3rd nomination. She won, of course, for La La Land. And this is Rachel's 2nd nomination. And the first time out, she won Best Supporting Actress for The Constant Gardener. So I haven't seen any of these movies. Word on the street is Regina King is the front runner for Beale Street. She's got a lot of buzz right now. But Rich, you have been raving about these actresses and
Geez,
favorite. Actually, wait, before you go on, I want to play this little clip here.
The Queen is an extraordinary person.
They were all staring, weren't they? I can tell even if I can't see, and I heard the word fat, and ugly.
No one but me would dare, and I did not. She's been stalked by tragedy.
Everyone leaves me, dies.
You're so beautiful.
Stop it, don't you mock me.
If I were a man, I would ravish you. You have become close to Abigail. She is a viper.
You're jealous.
You must send Abigail away.
I do not want to. Could you just look at me? Look at me! How dare you! Close your eyes!
Never want to be bit by a viper so bad.
So this is a type of movie that the Academy usually adores.
Yes.
The trailer looks great. I definitely
Yes.
want to see this movie.
Yes.
Rich, since you've seen this movie and you've raved about these performances, is it a battle between Emma and Rachel?
You know, I want to be fair to Regina King. I haven't seen Beale Street. I understand all the. I'm going to see it just because she's nominated. I'm going to throw her in there, even though I haven't seen it yet. But as of right now, the movies I've seen, those 2 are pretty damn amazing. And I don't know who's going to win.
Interesting.
And
maybe a tie.
It could be, or Amy Adams somehow sneaks in there. And
I don't
steals
know
it.
about that.
Her performance was good. I don't know. I thought maybe there might be other women in the Best Supporting Actors over Amy Adams, but yeah, no. Right now, the favorite would be Emma Stone Rachel Weisz.
I'm going to go with Regina King only because when I was at the premiere of Miss Congeniality 2
Oh boy, here we go.
back in 2005, Regina King was in that, and I saw her and waved to her and said hi. So,
Oh, Regina, that's my elbow.
I'm going to say that Joe Johnson luck rubbed off on Regina, and 14 years later.
Sorry, Regina.
It's going to pay
14
off.
years. It's like a broken mirror times 2. Talking to Joe is breaking 2 mirrors.
Regina King.
I'm
Ryan,
going-
anything you want to add?
I'm going Regina King. I haven't seen any of these movies, so I can't, give an honest opinion off of performance that I've
That's-
seen. I just want her to win.
Of all the hype and everything on her,
I just like her. I want her to win.
Yeah.
All right, best supporting actor. Again, I think this whole actor versus supporting actor thing confuses me sometimes because Mahershala Ali is nominated for Green Book. I felt like he was on screen as much as Vigo. It's weird that they wouldn't compete against each other for best actor, but he's in. Maybe they put him in best supporting to give him.
The story was coming from Beagle's character.
Yeah, but I don't know. And sometimes they make these decisions because they don't want them competing against each other. So maybe they felt he had a better shot at supporting actor. So this is his second nomination. And if he were to win, we're talking, not back-to-back wins, but he did win for Moonlight in 2017. So this would be his second win should he win. Adam Driver, this is his first nomination for Black Klansman. Sam Elliott for A Star Is Born. Not a ton of screen time, but was nominated for his limited screen time in A Star Is Born.
Wow.
Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me? This is his first nomination. And then Sam Rockwell is being recognized as George W. In Vice. This is his second nomination, and he won his first time out Best Supporting Actor in 2018 for 3 Billboards.
Wow. He was barely in that movie. Huh.
Yeah, so I think the record for least amount of screen time while winning the award is for Dame Judi Dench in Shakespeare in Love. I think she was on screen like less than 10 minutes or something and won the Academy Award for Best Actress. So screen time does not necessarily play a role in the decision.
I mean, he was good, George W., but...
So of those actors, I'll go first here. Hands down, I think no-brainer. Mahershala Ali is going to win for Green Book. Ryan, do you concur?
No. I'm going Sam Elliott. I don't care how much screen time he had. Phenomenal, emotional, and I can't say enough about the guy. Like he is due for his time.
God, I love Sam Elliott, man. He's got a movie coming out called The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot. And if you haven't seen the trailer, watch this trailer. It looks really bizarre. Richie, who's the front runner?
Wow.
I tell you what.
Is that your Owen Wilson? That sounded like...
Yeah.
I tell you what.
That was my Owen Wilson.
It could be a tie.
Between?
Mahershala Ali, Sam Elliott. I think Sam Elliott's going to get it, though.
I think Mahershala's got too much buzz. I think he's got this hands down. Even though they could do Sam's due, but
it's not even a Sam's due. That I've said it before in a past podcast that you're talking about acting clinics that we were talking about and almost everything. And honestly, if you put those two next to each other, Sam gives you an acting clinic.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Mahershala. Change my mind. All right, let's move on to the next category.
Oh wait, I gotta change your mind. You just told me to change your mind.
On Oscar Day.
Your mind is changed.
Best Animated Feature. Here are the nominees. Incredibles 2. Over $600 million domestically. $1.2 billion worldwide. That's an incredible take. 92% positive on Rotten Tomatoes. Isle of Dogs sort of came and went quickly. Worldwide gross of $64 million, 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. That is a Wes Anderson movie, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. A movie I've never heard of, Mirai, M-I-R-A-I, Mirai, total gross of $730,000. $730,000 is its total gross, despite having 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. Ralph Breaks the Internet, worldwide gross of $458 million, 194 of that domestic, 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. And then Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, worldwide gross of $327 million, $160 million here locally, 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. In my opinion, Spider-Verse, hands down, not even close. Best animated feature of 2018. Ryan, do you concur?
Nope.
Dun, dun, dun.
I haven't seen any of these, so I'm sticking with the Pixar machine.
Incredibles?
Yeah.
Loved Incredibles. Watched it again recently. So damn
It's got
entertaining.
everything you need. It's got
It's good.
It's got the number 2. It's got little people. It's got 600 and something $million domestically, and it's got the Pixar brand.
It's got Edna.
Edna.
It's called Fire Rabbit. Richie, your thoughts. Best animated flick.
You know, the Academy would like the Isle of Dogs. It seems like that's the type of animation that they could go
Zero
for.
buzz, though. Zero buzz. And the trailer
but-
did not look interesting to me at all.
I know I didn't see it, but it seemed like the type of movie that the Academy goes for. But I'm gonna pull out an upset here.
Ooh.
I did see Incredibles 2, and it's not gonna win.
Okay.
I saw parts of Wreck-It Ralph. How's that work? It's not gonna win.
Mhm.
When they talk about Maria, is that how you pronounce it?
I don't know.
Mirai?
I'm guessing Mirai.
Mirai.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Verse is gonna win.
Upset.
Spider-Verse
Freaking
is an
hate this
upset.
guy.
No, it's not. It's
Oh,
the front
yes.
runner. It's
Oh no, Incredibles 2 is the front runner. It's gonna be an upset.
I don't know. Here's
How do
my.
we let this guy on the show?
There's a lot of buildup for nothing. Here's my take on Spider-Verse. I'm a Peter Parker purist. Pardon me. And so I went in like, man, don't mess with Peter Parker. You know, like I was in with my arms folded, like ah.
I was there, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and I'm like, eh. But watching the movie, even though there's some things I didn't like about it, it's a work of art. It really is. The animation, the backgrounds, the vortex that was opened up by Kingpin, and what they did with the animation, and some of it looked real world, and then adding comic book elements with like titles and panels, and it was a work of art. This movie is a work of art, and the Academy has to recognize the innovation that came with this
story was
movie.
good,
That's
too.
why I think it's hands down the favorite to win this. It's
It's a
remarkable.
complicated story to tell, bringing in all the different Spider-Mans and Spider-Womans, and
Yeah.
Spider-Gwens, and Spider-Ham.
Spider Noir.
Yes.
I really think it's one of the greatest movies ever made. So
Might
so
be.
quiet.
I dig this movie. I think it's going to win. I don't think there's even a debate.
I'm not going to debate with you.
Let's move on to a category that's near and dear to dumb guys everywhere. Best visual effects. The nominees are Avengers: Infinity War, Christopher Robin,
Father.
First Man, oh Father, First Man, Ready Player One, Solo: A Star Wars Story. I think this comes down to the comic book movie Infinity War versus the historical epic First Man. Neither one of these movies, I think, received any other nominations. I could be wrong, but
I think Solo, just because it's going to piss off everybody.
Solo is a terrible movie, so that's out of the running.
It's a good movie.
Ready Player One was entertaining, but it was just fluff. I'm going to go with Infinity War. I think what gives it the edge is the characters turning into ash. Was so well done, and it was unlike anything we'd ever seen in a movie before. And I think that gives it the edge. And it's a popular pick. I'm going to go with Infinity War. Ryan, change my mind.
I don't have to because I don't value your opinion. I'm going Ready Player One because it may have been fluff to you, but I thought it was really
It was entertaining as hell.
super entertaining and great visual effects.
I'm surprised that Black Panther was not nominated for visual effects. I thought it had great visual.
Yeah, it's kind of strange that it would get the Best Picture nod, but
It-
not.
I know it got
visual
like a bunch of
effects.
other nods, but I thought visual effects should definitely be
Yeah.
in there.
I didn't even- it didn't
Because
even occur to me.
actually, if that was there, it would be one of my favorites
Yeah.
to win, but it's not. So I'm gonna have to go with Ready Player One.
Really?
Ryan knows what he's talking about here.
I beg to differ.
Shit.
Wait, let me smell my
You want
drink.
to change your answer now? You
Oh.
got some white out your screen over.
Ryan did put something in my drink.
All right, so those are the major categories I wanted to discuss. Any other categories you want to throw out? You guys got the Oscar ballot in front of you.
Was there a Timothy Chalamet? No, or Chalamet? He wasn't nominated, was he?
Yeah, he was.
I hear
he
that's
was-
a snub.
Yeah, they're saying that's a snub.
He's a great actor.
I forget what the movie is.
At the Cold War.
No. It was something like about a boy or something.
Oh,
boy,
yeah.
best boy.
Yeah, best boy. Best
something
boy.
like
Everybody.
that,
yeah, everybody. When I hear people talk at the theater, they loved him in it.
Yeah. Best cinematography: Cold War, The Favorite, Never Look Away. I don't even know what that is. Roma and A Star Is Born.
I guess The Favorite, just because it had a lot of
It's one of those movies that usually
landscape, a lot of landscape
Yeah.
pictures, and it.
Yeah, I think I might go with that. Anything else you guys want to throw out before we wrap up?
Well,
I don't understand the difference between sound editing and sound mixing. I think that's redundant. I wish they would just. I mean, I'm sure sound people everywhere are going, "Shut the hell up!" But that's a category I think they could either combine or do those off stage somewhere else.
What about best film editing? What do you got there?
Editing? The categories are Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The
Now-
Favorite, Green Book, and Vice.
Why did Black Panther not get that, or Infinity Wars?
The best picture I've ever seen of Joe.
What's that? Best. What's that?
Oh boy.
Best editing. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Bohemian Rhapsody on that.
I don't care about any of these other categories. To
I
be honest.
know.
Well, best documentary.
Where you pop some
Except
fresh
for,
popcorn.
yeah, original song for Shallow.
Shallow, I think,
Well,
is a no-brainer.
does anybody know anything about this
But that's all I care
free
about.
solo documentary? Is it about Han Solo or?
Maybe that short period of time where
It's,
he was imprisoned by the
no.
Imperial Army.
It's that Red Solo Cup is what it's about. It's
Oh.
the history of the Red Solo.
Oh, it
Cup.
is, isn't it?
I don't know. I was just making.
I think you're right, though. I think it has something to do with that.
No, I don't know.
What about original song? Who's going to win for original song?
We said Shallow, I think, is a no-brainer. I think
Really?
it's going to win hands down. I don't think.
I think
that's-
All the
that's
Stars
even
is gonna do
close.
it.
Have you heard anything else on the radio?
Yeah,
No, they really don't play anything else.
Shallow is all over the place.
Wow.
What about score?
Wow.
Here's a Black Panther nomination: Best Original Score,
Yeah.
Black Klansman,
I'm
If
gonna
Beale Street Can
give
Talk,
it to Mary Poppins.
Isle of Dogs, Mary Poppins.
Returns.
Yeah, like I said, I wasn't all that impressed with the score, but comparing it to the other movies, that might be Mary Poppins' only.
Listen,
win
the
right
most important award that we skipped over is Best Costume Design.
there. Well, that's the favorite, I think.
You think it's the favorite?
Well, the costume design is always these really lavish, like the more fluffier
Well,
the dress,
I'm telling
the
you,
more likely it's going to win.
But then you also got Mary Queen of Scots, who's the same kind of period.
Here
piece,
we go.
and it just might
Every
win.
time.
It just might win.
I'm going to go with the favorite for
Well, my favorite
costume.
in the best costume design would be the favorite, but I could see Mary Queen of Scots getting it.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add before we wrap up? We're talking about the 91st Academy Awards.
91st Academy Awards.
Going
Who's
to air
hosting?
Sunday, February 24th.
Who's hosting?
I think as of right now they're going without a host, so they're just going to have celebrity couples come up and hand out awards. That's
Oh,
fine with
man,
me.
this
That
might be
sounds riveting.
This might be the first Academy Awards. to
Rich, you
finish
could have had a shot.
before- Well, they never called me.
Mhm.
I'd do it. I would improv. But
Yeah, we've
we
seen how
might-
well that works
we
here.
might actually get done before the news actually comes on at 11.
Any
No.
predictions for the in memoriam segment?
Why is that not on here? We should be talking about that. We're a movie for dumb guys. We should be talking about if this person deserves it in memoriam or not.
Who's going to get snubbed?
Who's going to get snubbed? is
Because
what we
that
should-
happens every year.
year.
For me, the
Betty White.
most outrageous snub was Farrah Fawcett.
That
because
was crazy.
Her death got overshadowed by Michael
That was
Jackson.
crazy.
They mentioned Michael Jackson, who was in one movie, and they left out Farrah Fawcett, who had been in multiple movies. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets snubbed this year.
I think the
Michael
other
was
thing
an
we got to
icon.
think about is who's the guy that played Dick Tracy? What's his name?
Warren Beatty,
Where's Warren Beatty gonna mess up?
him and Faye
Faye
Dunaway.
Yeah, what are they gonna mess up
They
this year?
did their make good last year. They brought him back last year. Remember that?
Yeah. Well,
So-
I mean, they need to mess up because the next year they need some material for next year.
Well, yeah, it's going to be
So-
interesting.
I think there's going to be plenty of material.
I think what we're going to do this year at the Oscar party is play some Oscar bingo.
Yeah.
Everyone will get a card, and whatever happens in the telecast, you check things off, and whoever wins bingo.
Is it gonna like what candy they're gonna give what food they're
No,
gonna give?
I think
the
it's like
stars?
political speech, like certain things. Maybe the
Ah.
wall will get mentioned. I don't know. We'll see.
That's a good
mix things
good
up a
Pink
little bit.
Floyd album.
Yeah.
Should be mentioned all the time.
All right. On that note, enjoy the Oscars, and we will see you next time on Movies for Dumb Guys.
Hooray for Hollywood.